Migration Solution News. This is Addi Banks. When the term migration is used in a news article, it is generally bad news. News of overwhelming host countries, desperate people seeking survival and support, frustrated citizens who understand, while sympathetic, that they cannot save the world. This is an article that gives hope and good news. On January 15, 2022, the Miami Herald posted an article, Panama, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic join efforts to tackle migration, defend democracy. It reads, a dramatic rise in migrants, the crisis in Haiti, the pandemic's impact, and democracy backsliding have united three countries in the Caribbean and Central America in the search for quick solutions. An alliance between Panama, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic to coordinate their foreign policy hopes to promote economic recovery, to find multilateral solutions to the migration crisis, and strengthen democratic institutions to counteract the decline of basic freedoms in the region. The Alliance of Development in Democracy, an initiative that took off on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly last year, was created in response to the recent regional developments, some of which are very worrying concerning democracy. The article cites concerns in the Dominican Republic's interest to find solutions to the growing instability in neighboring Haiti, from where thousands of migrants have left for the United States and South America. Human Rights Watch warned of an alarming setback in fundamental freedoms in Latin America in its latest report. The fact that the alliance, made up of only three governments, showcases the extent to which Central America and the Caribbean are in crisis. Their report highlights the instability in Haiti, where a crisis of governance fueled by gangs, violence, and the assassination of their president have been compounded by the devastating effects of an earthquake and rampant poverty. In Central America, the report mentions the elections without democratic guarantees in Nicaragua, as well as the migration spike after 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Alliance has held several meetings to coordinate a response to the situation in Haiti due to its impact on the migration crisis. The minister, Erica Moines of the Foreign Affairs Office in Panama, said that Panama has seen the number of irregular migrants arriving from Colombia en route to the United States jump from 8,000 in 2020 to more than 130,000 last year. Many come from Haiti. The Alliance recognizes that migration problems cannot be solved by any single country, but requires partner countries, including Canada, the United States, and Mexico. High-level representatives from 10 countries, including the United States, Canada, Mexico, Chile, Ecuador, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Panama, and Costa Rica, gathered in Panama to address the issue in August last year. The meeting resulted in an agreement to increase information exchange and judicial cooperation to fight human trafficking. The article noted that discussions also centered on the need to offer opportunities for immigrant integration and provide resources to meet the needs of migrants in transit. Many Haitians have tried their luck in countries like Chile, for example, from where they have had to immigrate again due to lack of jobs. Minister Moines stated, quote, "We ask for coherence in these migration practices and policies, so that if there is a state that decides to promote the reception of migrants, they must have adequate facilities to be able to serve them," end quote. She also says they have very tough stories. Sometimes the migrants go through up to 5 countries, and Panama is the first country that gives them medical care, food with the requirements for children and nursing mothers, plus shelters. But this level of support and this humanitarian approach cannot be carried out by Panama alone. The nations that make up the alliance also hope to join forces to boost economic recovery and promote their markets in Europe, the United States, and Asia. At the event, the foreign ministers stated that the alliance does not intend to supplant the functions of institutions such as the Organization of American States, but to coordinate statements, initiatives, and candidacies before multilateral organizations. Quote, "It is important to show that when you maintain the rule of law and you have solid democratic institutions, countries advance." Moines continues, "I believe that this is a positive message that is necessary and is lacking in the region. When regional nations join together to solve their own problems, it is more impactful than outsider nations stepping in and attempting to speak for people they do not share a culture with. It is usually disastrous." This article seems to renew our faith in the concerns of neighbors, helping where it counts, economies, governments, serving the citizens, giving citizens voice through democracy, attention to law enforcement. Sounds simple, but if it were so, the headlines would not be so void of hope. I pray that real solutions are born out of these initiatives and the cooperation of all nations. I believe that people prefer safe and enjoyable life in the homeland where their families embrace them. They risk abuse and death at the hands of smugglers. They find resentment in the countries they land in. The cost of living outside of their homeland costs the homeland in human resources, those resources used elsewhere, and the brain drain costs. You cannot fix a country from outside. We will watch and look and hope for good outcomes for these Southern neighbors.